Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Rachel Freeman Sowers live show, the go-to place for professionals and entrepreneurs who want to become more bold in the expression of themselves, their mission, and their truth using video and beyond. And what this really is doing is helping individuals just like you create this radical, this radical way of being, so that you are able to really show up the way that you want to show up in any area in which you want to show up in your business and in your life. You see, the beauty of this kind of work isn't just about this is a one thing and it only takes place in this arena. But just like with video, I've had people ask me questions about, does this work if I'm doing a podcast? Absolutely. Does this work if I'm writing posts? Absolutely. All the things that we are going to talk about tonight is really going to help you up level your radical visibility to yourself and to others. Because let's face it, we are here to make an impact. And in order to make an impact, we need to reach out to people. And what I've discovered recently, and was kind of the reason for this topic, is because people out there, consumers are more, they're able to know what is the truth and what isn't truth now. And when we show up authentically as ourselves, it really allows us to attract those people who want to know us and who want to work with us. And that's the goal of my business, is to work with as many professionals and entrepreneurs as I can to create this radical visibility. Because when you create radical visibility, and the definition is different for every single person, but when you create that, what happens is you begin to up level yourself and by creating a deeper relationship with yourself, and therefore creating a deeper relationship with other people. So that is what's really brought up this topic today. And the topic being how to be vulnerable on camera and feel good about it. Now, you may not always recognize or say, oh, I'm feeling very vulnerable right now. But sometimes vulnerability can look like, I wrote a list here, a fear of rejection. Like, I don't want to get on because someone might reject me. And really, vulnerability is this feeling of not being quite safe, it's discomfort, it's uncomfortable. It feels like people are looking into your soul, that they're going to know all of your secrets, some of those kinds of things. And so what we have done throughout life typically is build up these kind of barriers that really help us kind of ignore parts of ourselves that really are begging to come out, these authentic parts of ourselves that may have been put away or ignored or chopped off or numbed in order to fit into whatever we believed we needed to do in society and or in our family system and or in your religion and or in your school and or in your friend group. Like, all of those places influence us and how we be and interact into the world. And so vulnerability also looks like, I need more information. It can be, I just don't know what to say. It can be a distraction. Oh, I'll do that later, or I'll go on video next week, or I'll go on video once I have this ready, once I have that ready. And yes, when you go on video, sometimes there are things that need to happen, but truly they are so minimal. I mean, if you have a cell phone and you have a place to go live, you can push a live button within 30 seconds and be live, right? So these kinds of things are the reasons why we tell ourselves we can't show up or we're not able to. And what this can really reinforce is all those beliefs that we had about ourselves or continue to have about ourselves that then take it deeper for us and reinforce that and really stop us from showing up. So a lot of times I hear, I just don't know what to say. I just am stuck. I feel like I want to go and be on video and I want to tell people about what I do, and yet I just can't do it. And this is why it's so important to create a deeper relationship with yourself. So maybe you're asking me, okay, Rachel, great. You've told me all these things and I can hear what you're saying, and I'm just not using video and I want to use video. Maybe you haven't ever started using video because you think that you're an introvert. And you very well may be an introvert. But what I'm telling you is that I am both an introvert and an extrovert. There are times I need to be alone. There are times I need to have it quiet, that I want to have that restoration because I'm a highly sensitive person. And yet a lot of people think that because I do video all the time and I'm confident on video, that means I'm just all the time an extrovert. And what I believe is that all of us have a little bit of each in us. It's just like a lot of us have a little bit of masculine and a little bit of feminine. It's just whatever parts we are focusing on the most, right? So how do you work through what is going on? How do you work through these feelings of vulnerability, of fear, not being enough, feeling like an imposter? All of those things tie into feeling vulnerable. How do you work through those? Okay, so I'm glad you asked. What I'd love to hear from you, did any of these things about vulnerability ring true with you? And if so, which ones? Let me know in the comments whether you're watching the recording or the live. I'm going to give you the 4 I's that I have come up with that really will help you begin to go into deeper into yourself so that you can rise up out of this vulnerability fear. Now, I want to be able to feel vulnerable with you on camera and be okay with it. So what we want to do is keep the vulnerability here, and we want to reduce the nervous system's response to a fear. So we want to reduce this and we want to keep, because then I get to say, hey, I get to be here with you. And if any of you have watched several of my videos, sometimes I cry on camera and people have feelings about that. People are like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. This is how my body releases pretty much any emotion. Some people, if we talk about emotion on camera, anger is a really acceptable emotion in our society, at least here in the US, and people can get angry and they can be passionate about it, but you can't, maybe it's not always acceptable to talk about the wounds you have. It's not always acceptable to talk about the traumas that you have, and those places can feel really vulnerable. So how are you able to do that in a way that allows you to be vulnerable and feel okay? So we're going to dive into the first I. So the first I is to identify what's on the surface. So underneath each one of these things, say for instance, needing more information. So you're going to identify on the surface, I need to have more information before I can go on video. I need to study this. I need to have this down. I need to have right? I need all of these things. Well, really that is on the surface. And usually this is really, you can tell what this is because it's really the first thought that comes to mind. I don't like my teeth. I don't like my accent. I don't like my hair. I feel like I'm drained when I do video. I'm going to do another, I'll do another RFS live show on that because it's really relevant when you're a highly sensitive person. So what is the identify what's on the surface? So what is the immediate thought? All right, that's number 1. The second I is inquire where it's coming from. Now this can be really tricky because a lot of times we go into why am I like this? So now you're identifying that the thing that you can't do means something about you. But when you identify or inquire where this is coming from, it's not so much why, but it is where. So where does this come from? It comes from all those times when I was told as a child that children are better seen than heard, right? That's what stops a lot of us who have experienced religious trauma from moving forward and speaking our truth, right? Because we were told it's better to be seen and not heard. And if you read or on my mailing list or read my last email, to me, that really meant what you have to say is insignificant. Nothing you say is going to be good enough. You need to be silent and just sit there and look good and act good. And that's it. Right? Those are all those things that came into my way of being because I heard that so many times throughout my childhood by a lot of different people. right? So you're going to inquire where it's coming from. Why? If you get stuck on that why wheel, what happens is you just go round and round and round and round. And pretty soon you might create the trauma response within yourself. And then you're like, I just don't know why. Forget it. I'm not doing it. How many of you have ever experienced that? Because I have, right? So identify what's on the surface, inquire where it's coming from. So what's that next step deeper? I need to know more information. That comes from me feeling like I need to accomplish things in order to be enough, or feel like I'm enough, or be worthy of someone else's time or attention, or any of those kinds of things, right? So the third one is initiate a change in perspective, or what you are claiming your reality is. So if I'm claiming my reality is that I need to know more information before I can, because I'm not feeling like enough. What is it that needs to change? What do I need to do to initiate a change? So to initiate the change, it can be as simple as asking yourself, what do I want to feel instead? What do I want instead? I want to be able to go on video and have this confidence and ultimately trust myself, right? I have a buddy, Eric, who is in Mexico, and we are accountability partners, and he has started doing lives. And he said one of the toughest things is that you don't know what's going to happen, right? But there's this ultimate trust that can happen when you say, what do I want instead? Instead of thinking I'm not enough, instead of owning I'm not enough, I want to believe I am enough. All right, so that's the third one, initiate. You're going to initiate a change in perspective. And then the last one is the most powerful. What you're going to do is ignite a different way of being. So I was talking to a client today, and she's like, Rachel, I have all of these thoughts in my head. I get easily overwhelmed. There's all of the things that are a priority. And part of that was the fear of missing out. The part of that was the fear of honing in and experiencing this true focus and success that she truly desires from the depths of her soul, and create the success she wants that will equal her meaning of balance, that will equal her ease and freedom. But it's kind of like this over here is what keeps us there. So what do you need to do to ignite a different way of being? Do you need to implement some meditation? Do you need to get a guide or a mentor or a coach? Do you need to immerse yourself in some kind of experiential experience, right? What are the things that you need to do? Maybe you need to read a book that someone had recommended for you, or that you are hearing the wise one within you telling you, hey, don't forget about that book. Let's read that book. Maybe you need to start taking time to slow down a little bit and allow yourself to breathe and calm your nervous system, and then make the next best decision and the next best decision. Because I don't know about you, but in my culture, I've experienced that you are supposed to experience something, whether it's traumatic or happy, and then you move on. The things that are stopping you from creating the visibility you truly want so that you can impact the most amount of people, because we need all of you out there. We need every single person that is bringing a level of awareness and positivity and up-leveling kind of the things that are happening. We need all of it. We need all of you. And when we don't show up, it's kind of like we're keeping the best kept secret. Yes, I am saying that you are the best kept secret. And I wonder if you just said, okay, even if you said, Rachel says I'm the best kept secret, and you go and do something about that right now, what would be possible for you to change? So when you're initiating that change of perspective, you're asking, what if? What could happen if I actually experience this? What would happen if I wasn't so overwhelmed all the time and I could think and I could have clear thoughts? Maybe in those moments, you would have less decision fatigue. It's a real thing. Maybe in those moments, you would be able to know what is exactly your truth and what is exactly right for you at any given moment in any given time. Right? So these 4 I's are really what's going to help you move through these states of fear and vulnerability and reduce the fear and be able to be vulnerable and feel good all at the same time. So if you have thoughts or comments about that, I would really love to hear them. You can do them in the comments below, or feel free to directly message me. I'm always happy to talk with anyone who messages me. And I want to remind you, as you go through this, the next time you feel afraid to show yourself and create this radical visibility for your business and for yourself, remember, identify what's on the surface, inquire where it's coming from, initiate a change in perspective. What if, what could happen if, what could I feel if, and ignite a different way of being. All right, so I'm going to stop it there. If you have found this inspiring and empowering, I want to encourage you to go on over to Facebook and join my Radical Visibility and Authentic Video Mastery Plus Facebook group. This is where we join together and really start creating the ability to feel confident on camera, to be ourselves and fully show up, so that we can attract the people that are exactly supposed to be working with you. That's how it works. I know it works. So please hop on over there. I'd love to have you join, answer those 3 short questions, and I can't wait to see you there. As always, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more empowerment and inspiration in speaking your truth and your mission in your business and in the online world. And I'll end this video as I end every single video. Please make sure to stay true to yourself, be kind to others, and always, always, always honor the wise one that is within you. I'll see you all next week on the Rachel Freeman Towers Live Show. Until then, bye.